Welcome back to the Olga S Pérez show. I'm your host Olga. How you doing? How you doing? Do not be um, mistaken that my positivity is not or does not come with a level of seriousness. I'm a very serious person. I just like to have fun while we're being serious. What do you think about that? In a world with so much negativity, somebody's got to sign. Here we go again. Here we go. Never fails. Never fails. Dyslexia, languages, issues. You get my point. How's everybody doing? How's it going in your world? How's the weather? Tell me what part of the world you're in. Let me know. This is gonna be a different live stream today. There's a lot I want to talk about. Popular news, not so popular news, like the latest, some of the stuff with Joe Rogan, Dave Smith about mainstream media and how, we get sued for telling the truth and they don't for lying, for example. I saw that I saw this video of the Iranian president, and the title this person posted on Rumble, the title was like Omnius. I'm like, Omnius. I mean, maybe I'll share with you guys that video because I don't see the video's not showing me much. Or maybe I'm blind. Or maybe I just can't see straight or something. And feel free, guys, to post your links of anything you'd like me to watch or share in the live chat. And your comments are my fuel. Keep them coming. I do read them. I will respond. Consider becoming a sponsor to this show for this channel. Support me here on the BoobTube. I am live on Twitter. I'm live on Rumble. And on BoobTube. And then, of course, for better, more personal, intimate, unfiltered, uncensored, join me on Locals, baby. The link is in the description below. All the links are in the description below. I am going to shortly, in a bit, I'm going to share a link to this live stream so you guys can call in. Don't worry about having to show your face or video. Sometimes it actually messes with the audio. So I think it's just easier if you just click on it and you just click the audio. Especially if you're on your phone, you should have no problems. I invite you to talk about anything you want. Ask me any questions. Of course, be polite, okay? Because then I'll just have to block you. You know, have to ban you. So, yeah. What else? Stu Peters has this video. I was thinking maybe I'll share that because there's a topic, flat Earth. Apparently that triggers a lot of people. And, oh, give me a second. And, I keep saying it, and I know it sounds like it's pain, it's fucking boring. I get it. But your support is, in capital, is everything. I'd love to do reaction videos for you guys, especially the music videos, but I'm constantly running into problems and I cannot monetize them. And if I cut any section that they're complaining about, I disputed the one from yesterday or 2 days ago, Love Bites, and that one came back rejected. And I think I reached out to Tom personally on Facebook, and that, I believe, I'll double check. I can also screen share that if you guys want as well. But again, the advertiser, I mean, I know everybody's hurting for money. Companies are hurting for money. Even bigger channels than me, people with millions of followers have been talking for months now about their ad revenue is not what it used to be at all, like almost half. But whether they're selling products of their own, they could be selling coffee or any other thing, right? They could have sponsors. I don't have any of those things, guys. So you're everything. Please help me with a coffee, because the coffee's just $3. It's cheaper than any Starbucks. Okay, I'm basic. I just need the basics, and of course, your love and support. So let's see who's with me already. I mean, the other part of the news is Target. Has anyone seen that Target and Aldi are apparently, from the article, are competing with Walmart? And I'm like, do we want? First of all, I rarely go to Target. It's like if I don't have to, I will not go. I will not support their business for various reasons. At this point, everybody should know. And that shouldn't have just been a fad. Just like blocking people like from the Met Gala and all these influencers that are not looking out for us. They're using all their money just to continue to create more content that's just entertainment for the most part. And then, they spend so much money on creating outrageous type content and I mean, what I mean by outrageous is like how costly their content is. Like Mr. Beast, for example. His productions are very costly. And I know he's done some good stuff. So this is not about talking bad about Mr. Beast. I'm just saying we're at a point where all these people, influencers, celebrities, anybody with money, like even Bezos should be sending people like $1,000 gift cards or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? These billionaires don't need all this money, and they made it off of us. They made it off in his specific example, off the lockdowns that we didn't choose, that we didn't vote for. Okay. So yeah. So I mean, I changed the subject title to this live stream like 3 times today, and I'm like, I want to talk about things that are not so popular, like flat Earth, and I want to get your input on it. I want to have an open discussion. And the other one was like, news overload, because then I also, like right before I went live, I found out that apparently DC or the RNC is in lockdown. I'm not sure. I didn't really have time to really delve into it to see if it's true. And people wearing hazmats or something. Like, let me know, guys. I'd like to know. But there is one thing I'd like to start screen sharing this post I saw of this young, looks like a Gen Z or maybe even younger, talking about phones, technology. And I've been saying it since before they launched, like when they launched. I'm like, from the get-go, especially the iPhone, I'm like, And then more and more I saw children holding their parents' phones. I'm like, And there's just undeniable proof. There's people that have even created these softwares that have come out and spoken out saying that these algorithms were manipulated to literally enslave you, to put it to you in a nutshell. So let me screen that, because I thought that was really profound, and that's something more than talking about it. Let's watch it together. Here you go. Hopefully you guys can see me, you can hear me, everything's good. It's a little too big. Here we go.
I think our parents were right, it was the damn phones. We laughed when we were children, hearing it's that Snapgram and InstaChat and FaceTalk. They didn't understand, they couldn't even say it right. I thought I knew better than them. They didn't know what it was like having a world to the tip of our fingers. We scrolled through the trash so much we have headlines tattooed on our skin. Wires for veins, AI for a brain, and they may not have understood, but they were right. It is the damn phones. A drug in my pocket dependent on stimulation, but can we blame us? We were but children when they were given. We didn't know how to stop it. If I added up all the hours I spent on a screen, existential dread and regret would creep in, so I ignore this fact by typing away. And it's not like I can throw away my phone. It's how we communicate, it's how we relate, it's the medicine that is surely making our souls die. I used to say I was born in the wrong generation, but I was mistaken, for do I not do everything I say I hate? When I look in the mirror, I see a ghost staring back. I try not to think about who I would be without technology. The character behind my phone screen has become self-aware. Almost worse than being naive, for I know it's poison, but I drink anyways. We used to be scared of robots gaining consciousness, a lie by the media companies to keep us distracted, as to not ourselves become conscious of the mess that they have created. We are the robots, we are the products, and so I sit and I scroll and I rot on repeat. Sit and scroll and rot until my own thoughts are what's being fed to me on TV, until my own feelings are wrapped in celebrities, until my body is a tool of my political identity, and so I sit and I scroll and I rot. And so I post on the internet how the internet has failed us, that I may not fail my internet presence. I think our parents were right. It was the damn phones.
How profound was that? And wasn't that awesome? Like, seriously? Did it not get to you? Oh. Yeah, my energy is a very different today. Mainly because yesterday, on my walk from an appointment, and I was on my way to Whole Foods, get a couple things. And it's funny how, you ever seen that movie? Was it Traffic? Or at least there was a couple movies where they'll show you like timelines, or like where, 1 second can make all the difference, right? Like you bending over to tie your shoe. And I remember right before what happened to me, or what I experienced yesterday on my walk. So first I see this bird with a fly in their mouth, or in its mouth. Big fat fly too. And I'm like, look at you, good for you. Like, I literally talk out loud to animals and birds. Yes, I do. Right in the middle of the city, don't care. And like right there when I said that, here comes this other bird. And I thought they were like, lovers, or like mom and dad or something, or father and child, and they're sharing the food or something. And then I realized, oh my God, it was another bird stealing the fly out of this other bird's mouth. And yet the fly escapes. And I was like, oh, that's what you get for stealing. And it's always so cool to see this, to see a bird, trying to catch a fly right in, it was like maybe 5 feet above my head, you know what I mean? But like in midair, it's so cool. And I'm like, oh my God. Again, what if I had bent down to, I don't know, fix my shirt, or, not that I have to bend down to fix my shirt, but you get my point. And about 10 steps later, I go around this corner, and I pretty much take always the same path to go to my local Whole Foods. And all of a sudden I hear something in the background. I hear like, hey, something like that, but not screaming. And I'm like, oh, and I'm walking at my same pace. I get on the sidewalk and I see a kid. I see a father in a children's park where it's gated. And I look to see where the father's looking, and I see this toddler, and I mean 18 months old. I don't even think it was 2 years old. And he's booking it down the sidewalk. At first he's just walking fast, and then all of a sudden he's walking faster and faster. And the dad's not running. And I don't know if I want to give you the description of the father, because then I don't want anybody lashing out like, oh my God. But I'm telling you, I was shocked that he didn't have more sense of an urgency, in my opinion. That's just saying what I observed. And all of a sudden, and I had bags. I was carrying bags. I had a backpack. And the next thing you know, I just went into full, when I mean sprinting, it was beyond sprinting. And I didn't even think about the bags and anything I was carrying. I don't even know if I would have dropped it, if my shoes would have been flying off. I was completely lost when I'm seeing this child going straight into traffic. And I start running so hard. And I hear somebody else screaming too. And then I scream, stop. And I'm telling all the cars stop. And literally there was a van coming as this kid was about to hit the street. And there's two. So there was a street where this van was coming down, and this kid's on the sidewalk. I'm behind the kid running. And so that van is about to hit the kid. And mind you, we don't know if the kid might even take a detour and jump in the other street where there's even more cars. Look, I'm getting verklempt just talking about it. I'm getting all heated up. And the next thing you know, I just could not get there fast enough. And I'm not exaggerating when I tell you the kid's face was like 1 foot away from the front of this van. And I grabbed him. And what's funny is that the other guy that was also screaming, at that moment I realized he was a postman. And he was livid, man. He was not. I can describe him. But again, not to be like profiling, but he was like not, I was being cool about it. Like when I grabbed the kid's arm, I was like, take a deep breath. But just talking about it, I'm getting choked up, because what's the weirdest part is like, I was totally cool, because that's what I always do in a moment of panic, in a moment of, shit hits the fan. I'm cool. I'm chill. I'm smiling. And so I just remember grabbing the kid, and then the father comes in. He's like, oh, thank you. He was a foreigner. He didn't really speak English. Like, he could say thank you, but you could tell he didn't look like the typical. And anyway, he was clearly a foreigner. And I'm just like perplexed. But anyway, I'm glad that father takes him. But he's not also like thanking me like he's having a heart attack. The whole thing was so bizarre. And not the norm or the natural. I don't even know how to you get it. So then I'm just thankful. Fine. I didn't witness anything horrible. And I was glad that I was able to help. And like the postman was literally, if I didn't grab that kid, he probably could have got the kid before the kid got hit. I'm not sure, because he was like a split second after me. But anyway, he looked at me. I looked at him. I'm like, and he was like, oh my God. But he was mad, and he was looking at the dad like angry. And so I'm like, hey, it's all good, right? Like, thank God, right? And he was just like huffing and puffing, kind of talking under his breath, kind of mumbling, but not. And I go, hey, and I was so like traumatized, like the shock, that I looked at him like, and I mean, he looked traumatized too. So I said, hey, like, should we hug? Like, would that like make it better for both of us? And he was just so mad. He couldn't even go there. And I was like, okay. And as soon as I turned around, I don't know why, but I started bawling. I'm bawling. Like, and I'm hyperventilating. I'm like, it took me literally 20 minutes to calm down. It took me about 5 to 10 minutes to stop hyperventilating. And then it took me about 20 minutes to like, okay, move on, focus on the rest of your day. Because that's the way I deal with hardship and stress and trauma. You just change your mind. That's how you do it. But then when I told my friends, when I made some phone calls after I got home, I mean, I couldn't tell the story without getting choked up again. Isn't that wild? Like, I figured, okay, yeah, it was traumatic. Okay, it was a big deal. But why was I mean, it was like if it was my own kid or something. Like, it was, there was a lot of reflection based on my reaction. And I was like, wow, can you imagine if I feel this way for one kid? This is why I can't watch the news and watch people getting hurt. I can't, even if I know how to change my mind quickly, once you see something, you can't unsee it. And I'm just very compassionate. I'm thinking, can you imagine if we're compassionate and that level with one person, one child? If we all collectively use that compassion, instead of attacking each other. Because I do believe that humans are good. Mostly. And it's a choice. It's a choice, but I think it is even in our instinct, no matter who you are, to want to help each other. So without getting political, I mean, I can only remember a few times in my entire lifetime where something gets to me so deeply. Or not just gets to you, right? But like you'll never forget it. Like you'll just never forget it. Like I'm never going to forget yesterday. And I'm sure whenever I remember it, it's going to be like it just happened. Anyway. I don't know. Am I happy I was there? See, I'm getting choked up again. I can't even. Let's change the subject. How about, as I said from the beginning of the live stream, if you didn't hear, if you're signing in now, I'm going to send you guys the link so that if you want to call and talk to me live, please do. The link is in the description. Let me go to X as well in case there's anybody on X who wants to call in. Call in link. And make sure to share this content. Sharing is caring, my friends. Let's help me with the algorithm. Again, not that the algorithm's really doing much for me, especially when I'm, constantly getting demonetized and blah, blah, blah. It's like, but like I always told you guys, like, at least for me, based on my views or based on my channel subscribers, if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button. So yeah, your support, become a Locals member. It's the best way. And that way we never lose each other, lose touch. And we can be more of ourselves. Okay, I lost my thought. I had a distraction. Victor, I will take your call, Victor, but I'm not going to take your call first if you don't mind, because Victor did call. Because Victor's called many times, and I have him in a lot of my streams. So I just want to give other people opportunity, especially those who haven't called before. So, Victor, let me say hi to everybody and give everybody a chance. Rocco, look at that. Great to see you. Welcome back. And wait, I saw, that was sweet of you. Some people are worth the wait. That's super cool. Who else is with us? Again, Victor, welcome, welcome. Hello. Miss Olga in chat. See, there's nothing but lovely people on this podcast, right? The Rational Texan. I'll hit you up for some paid reaction next month. Your reactions are worth it. Oh, thank you. Thank you, love. Anyway, because mira, it doesn't matter how strong you are. It doesn't matter how confident you are. Showing your appreciation is what makes my reactions, period. And even if you do write a comment and your comment is, hey, I love your reaction. I love that you enjoyed it, but I can't continue without your support. So, and it's not just financial. It's food. Here I go. And I want to say 3 different things in one word. It's an energetic exchange, appreciating someone, like when you say thank you to someone, but then it's different when you hug them and say thank you. And then if you hug them for like 30 seconds, not just a quick pat on the back, makes a difference. I just had a friend that came over the other day and he was like, so what made you come over today? Like what, all of a sudden, I don't know. For some reason, I wanted to ask that question that day. And he was like, because you make me feel good. So it just goes to show you that the way you treat others really makes a difference. So that's awesome. Hey, Melissa Crocker. My volume is low. Huh. How about now? I'm afraid because when I put my volume up more, it kind of does this, sounds a little like, almost like when I'm like what, something like that. So I feel like it's easier if you put the volume up on your phone and that way I don't come through that way. Oh, the clip was louder than me. Oh, right. Well, I did raise the volume when I was playing on my keyboard, when I was playing that video. It's good to know. Who else is with me? Hey, William Stetson. Hey, my captain. Aye. Great to see you. Hey, if you didn't know, anybody wants to call in? Nobody wants to call in? Is everybody being shy, not in the mood? Maybe you're on the road, doing something in the middle? All right, well, once again, I put a link in for you guys if you want to call me. Victor, give me a chance. Try again a little bit back later, all right? I'm going to do some other screen sharing in the meantime. So why do you guys think this is? Why do you think why do you think Target and Aldi are doing this? The fact that they're saying, oh, now we're gonna cut the price. It's not about inflation. We don't need it. Oh no, it's competition towards Walmart. Like we really want to see the kind of customers and that we see at Walmart. I don't know. No judgment. If you go to Walmart, I won't go. I can't. I just don't like the energy in that place. Period. It's very simple. It says so the article is why Target, Aldi, Walmart, and others are really lowering prices for supermarket staples. Think Target. Well, we know they got a hit when everybody was blocking them or, banning them or what's the right word? Yeah, boycotting them, right? Which this morning reported another drop in sales. And other supermarkets are lowering grocery prices just to help you think again. Target said Monday it is lowering prices on 5,000 everyday products from milk to diapers as the big box retailer looks to win customers from Walmart. I guess this is supposed to say earlier this month, supermarket Aldi said it was dropping prices on more than 250 items. Walmart has this year's used its rollback promise to cut prices, and like Kroger, has invested in improving its own label ranges. We know consumers are feeling pressure to make the most of their budget, said Target's chief food officer Rick Gomez said, giving the impression the company was simply helping customers. It echoed what Aldi's boss had said. But the real reason is simply down to business, with some grocery costs finally starting for fall after 2 years of punishing pricier or price. Is this a typo? Is it me? Supermarkets that are slow to pass them on will lose customers fast. That is exactly what is happening to Target. It announced this morning its sales for the first 3 months of 2024 are down on last year. No shit. Which was, that was my add-on. which was its worst year in 7. Nah, really? Okay. Retail experts point out how price-sensitive American shoppers, price-sensitive? I mean, who writes this? Who wrote this? Daniel Jones, consumer editor for the dailymail.com. Retail experts point out how price-sensitive American shoppers, see, to me, this is all form of gaslighting, this type of writing. So that makes you look crazy or something's wrong with you or you're stupid or something. You know what I mean? I don't appreciate it. Just write the facts, please. That's what journalism is. American shoppers are, especially as budgets are stretched to a limit. This is exactly why Target went to town and unveiling its barrage of 5,000 price cuts, which it timed for a quiet Monday morning to get news headlines. Target's revenue fell last year for the first time in 7 years. This morning, Wednesday, May 21st, it posted another decline in sales for the first quarter of this year. After higher prices cutting into shopper spending, Target has been hemorrhaging customers to its big rival Walmart, which last week's boasted it had boosted sales by 4%, a rare achievement among the recent set of earnings from retailers. It achieved the sales jump and predicted the rest of 2024 to be stellar too, after getting ahead of the curve on price cuts, retail experts said. Walmart has been talking up. It is cheaper than rivals and had widened the gap, in quote, on prices. University of Wisconsin economics assistant professor Andrew Stevens told local station WSAW-TV that lower prices is often used as a marketing tool to get up on rivals. Consumers definitely notice when prices go up. Now, here's what I'm going to say. You guys can look up the article, read it. We get the gist. Now, here's my rebuttal, or here's my answer to this. How about they stop selling things that are not good for you? How about that? How about they stop poisoning people with a lot of the products that they sell? How about that? How about I don't need your price cut to your cereal. How about you just, I'm not eating it. How about now that there's rumors that there could be human meat, again, that's just allegations, allegedly, in hamburger meat, sausage. I mean, it's possible, even if there's no proof. It's possible. They could do it. They could get away with it. I mean, I don't know how many states now, at least 5 states that are now allowing dead animals and dead humans into the water. Like, we don't have enough problems with all the pharmaceuticals that people flush down the toilet that we drink. Not to mention pesticides, not to mention fluoride, and how they're now also talking about upping our fluoride. See what I'm saying? So I'm always about, like, I don't care what they say, what they talk about. Who's with me? Let's see. We have a caller. Rocco, it shows that you're here, but it says they will need to connect their mic. You have to connect. You have to connect your mic, Rocco. If you're on the phone, click on the mic. Okay, maybe you got to do it again. Well, nice try, though. Again, share this content. Invite your friends to join us. Let's see. I welcome everybody that's also on Rumble. Great to see you. But okay, so I say, let's stop buying this bullshit. Let's go to Joe Rogan. Let's see. There was a bunch of clips. He was kind of trending. Not that it was the biggest trend, but, you know. These are subjects that mean a lot to me. Of course, I can't really say much, you know, because of the Crotch 19 situation. But let's watch this. Let's listen to this.
We've been doing these shows together for so many years that you can go back and look at, like, the things that were so wildly controversial to say then.
And they're 100% accurate.
And they were totally accurate. And now it's not even controversial at all to say. It's just like, oh, yeah, that's common sense now.
Yeah, most of those things now. And, you know, it's just, I think these kind of conversations, though, contribute to the public's distrust in mainstream media. They know what the fucking game is now.
It's a really interesting statement because that's their argument. You know what I mean? that's CNN's argument about why we need to cancel Joe Rogan is because your conversations contribute to the public mistrust. But then like my counter argument to that is like, yeah, but that's good.
Yeah,
because
but
no one
you
should
guys-
trust you.
You did that to yourself.
Yeah, you guys are a bunch of liars.
Yeah, you're a bunch of liars, and I should have sued you.
I mean, dude.
Yeah, and now
100%.
that no, I'll finish playing the whole clip. But when he said I should have sued you, why didn't he? Well, I'll tell you my insight. He didn't. He's acting like I think he says it in this clip in particular, but if not, he said like he just didn't want to deal with like going to court. And I totally understand. I totally get it. But I will tell you this. See, if he was so Mr. I care about everybody and I'm so, I want to make everybody happy, like his big apology video about the N-word, right? So it's bullshit, dude. Like, you could have been a hero. You still can. I think it's under the statute of limitations. But let's see. Do we have a caller? Rocco, I see you're trying to call in, and I love that you're trying to call in, but it should pop up on your phone or computer, whatever device you're using. It should pop up to connect your mic because it just says device not connected. Just give it a chance. It's pretty easy to understand, but I get it if you're new to it.
Slam dunk.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to court. I'm not interested in
I
that.
know. No, that's why. I mean, like, I just want.
Because you're so loving and caring about everybody else. You have such a huge platform and you're making all this money. You could afford to sue them. And the fact that it would have opened so many doors and it would have really helped block the avalanche of suppressing the First Amendment free speech. So he acts like he's all about free speech, but he didn't go to court when he could have. And most people can't, especially smaller content creators like myself.
Let's
So
see
I
them.
felt like I know how this game gets played out. It's like when you're doing jiu-jitsu with someone and you're in
Yeah,
the
I
half
know the games you're playing, Joe Rogan. I know the games you're playing.
guard and you're like, I'm getting out of this. I'm getting out of this half guard and I'm going to mount you.
Yeah, well, it did. I mean,
Yeah,
look,
let's have fun. Let's get high. Let's have fun.
totally blew up in their faces.
And I'm the same. I love having fun, right? But again, it's like running after that kid. Like, there's no question. If they would have done to me what they did to him, you're going down. No matter any cost. Because I could sleep at night knowing that I did something to help my fellow brothers and sisters.
They're done. I mean, after the COVID stuff,
You
I
don't
don't
even
see
have to be religious for that.
any recovery. I think the corporate media is just going to get less and less influence. It's already, you see how much it's moved over. Look, one of the
They
big
would have
ones
to
too.
go back to what they were trying to do this with the reorganization of CNN. They were trying to get back to hardcore objective journalism without some sort of editorial bias because they said, listen, this is the only way out of this.
Yeah, but even that was never really. It
could
was
have been
like
better than they're
hey,
doing.
let's not be so blatantly anti-Trump, and let's get back to just when they
Reporting on the
say
news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still protecting all the powerful people, and still, it's not like there was
Yes.
ever really going to be. Look, you're never going to like see a discussion on CNN about how you have these think tanks in Washington D.C. who advocate for war, and they're funded by weapons companies. So,
Right.
what do you think that?
Everybody knows that, right? So here's the other thing. I love that we can talk about this, but this is the other reason why I want to make all my streams very personal, very as real, as authentic as possible on this type of platform, without us being face to face with each other. But I mean, at what point are we going to continue to just have a conversation, constantly talking about everything? Like, yeah, it's good for us to talk, right? Because they don't want us to know certain information, so we need to share information. But like, this to me is redundant. Would have been cool if he would have been like, I should sue them because they're still taking over, right? They're still suppressing us.
Means is that ever once come up on CNN?
No.
Never, and it never will.
Do you think that they would ever have a Anderson Cooper, which is brought to you by Pfizer, investigation into Pfizer? That seems unlikely.
Of course not.
Seems unlikely.
And look, it's not even again, like, take the example of say even Chris Cuomo, right? Who
I like Dave, by the way, and I feel I think he's got more cojones than Joe. I'll tell you that.
Now he's over with Valuetainment with Patrick Bet-David, our boy, and
Yeah, Cuomo. I mean, I don't care how you try to look at it. There is no good of Cuomo being on Patrick Bet-David, of anybody giving that guy a platform, and he's still not apologizing. But I don't care. I don't want you to apologize. I want you to disappear. I want you to have accountability. And then I'm sorry isn't taking accountability. That's not what you put millions of people through. And what they're still feeling because of your actions, your choices, because you were bought and sold. This is for real, like French Revolution kind of shit. Like, no, you got to go, brother. You got to go. And we want our money back. We want things back. What are you going to do for us? The apology is not paying my bills. It's not cutting it. Your apology is not stopping our tax funding money to go do harm to other people in other countries when we're freaking drowning over here with immigration. Wait, I'm going to share you with that clip. We're going to get to that in a second.
all of a sudden he's talking about vaccine injuries and ivermectin and all of this. It's like, well, why is it when you're at CNN, which is, you know, sponsored by the pharmaceutical companies, you don't talk about this, but as soon as you're over here, now it's okay to talk about this. You know, you kind of see it like happen, that it's like, oh yeah, no, there's humongous power centers in America. There's like the pharmaceutical industry, there's the banking industry, there's the war industry, there's all these big ones.
We can stop buying pharmaceuticals. We can start doing our own thing. I can't say it because, you know, I need a license to say any of those things. So you get me. No one can be dumb enough now to believe that this is the only way and this is the best way. I mean, everything at this point, there's not a person that can deny where we're at. We've been talking about it since the 90s, 80s, 90s. Like, this isn't new. But thanks to modern technology, thanks to social media, it's more people now that know about it than before. And then after the whole 2020, this is it. It's about the only saving that we have is us taking back our authority by not shopping, by collecting our own water, like all of it. You don't have to go up into a mountain, live completely off the grid, but there's so many ways. I've been doing it for over 20 years. Anything I can do to not contribute to the system, I do. Consistently. I'm not just saying it. I'm doing it. I live a very, very humble life. I don't have a car. If I don't need it, if I can survive without it, I won't. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Just like some vegans don't eat meat because they think it's bad for the environment. Other vegans is because they feel bad for the animals, you know. And there's different types of vegans, vegetarians, and whatnot. But for me, it's not about climate change. It's about, is it good for me? And who's benefiting? Am I benefiting more, or somebody else is benefiting more? Like credit cards. Like, I know that some people are desperate and they're like, I'm just going to get this loan. I'm going to take this credit card. I've been there, done that. Took me years to pay that debt off. That's it. No more. I can't afford it. I don't get it. Period. End of the story. I know it sucks in a way. I get it. But the fact that all you have to think about is the person sitting in the Bahamas doing nothing, having a great time because of your interest. And they don't work for a living. I mean, can anybody just keep that thought in their mind? Because that will definitely, if you're at the register and you're thinking about using that credit card, and you think of that every time you're doing that, somebody else is on vacation with a yacht and then some, it helps people. It helps. Just like, remember that whole European coffee? Remember that video from years ago where an employee was caught? I don't know if it was a Dunkin' Donuts or a diner, and they were caught on camera peeing inside the coffee, and they were like, that's a European brew. I mean, we don't even know what's in half the stuff we buy, food-wise. So, like, no, fuck you. No. Serve us. We're the customer. It's consumer demand.
And none of them ever get really questioned in the corporate media. Like, one little action might be questioned every now and then, but the whole system as a whole never gets questioned. You'll never see like a real, you'll never see a piece on CNN about like, do we really need a central bank? Does the Federal Reserve do more good for the American people, or does it do more good for Wall Street? You know, like that conversation will never come up.
I mean, of course. That's not what I'm saying. I get it. When you watch certain podcasts, we just do it to entertain ourselves, you know, to listen to conversation. Like for me, Tim Pool doesn't bring me anything positive. But, you know, if he's got some guests, I can't even, even if there's a guest that I want to hear, I can't stomach the guy, because once I've seen that he's not a nice person, I can't do it. I just can't. This is how I roll. It's like after I met Charlie Sheen, I couldn't watch any movies. And we're talking from the late 80s. Because remember, I've told you guys in the past in other episodes where I met Charlie Sheen in Spain while they were filming Navy SEALs. And if you want me to retell that story, I will. But actually, the real good details, they're pretty spicy. So I'm going to have to leave them for locals. Remind me, guys, when you see me at locals, I'll give you all the dirty deets. I don't know. You might not be able to want to hear everything. You might not want to. You might be like, oh, my God. Who knows? You might be traumatized and you're like, oh, I cannot listen to you anymore after that story. Well, see, hopefully you don't judge and you just appreciate true, real stories. And I was young, okay? Things are different now. I'm still at least I think I'm still the authentic, nice, good person. But now I was rougher around the edges. Okay, so here we go. Check this out about the whole immigration. I thought these stats were telling. And it's a different angle to the whole immigration, illegal immigrants, and being invaded conversation or topic. Check this out.
Which we'll get to here in a moment. Now, as we've exposed here on the show before, the federal government seems to be complicit in a massive criminal operation, deliberately flooding the country with unvetted, illegal foreigners, distributing them all over the United States. It's a full-on operation, as our friend J.J. Carroll has uncovered here, Michael Yon has spoken about on our show, Anthony Rubin from Muckraker, unbelievable journalists doing amazing work. This is what's happening. Giving them cell phones, giving them homes, giving them financial monthly payments to live. One piece of this appears to be election fraud, right? But as journalist Greg Reese points out, it's actually much worse than that, because what's happening in the United States is not an isolated incident. It's happening all across Europe. Europeans are waking up to this fact. On today's show, an overwhelming number of Europeans say illegal immigration is destroying their country. Take a look at these new numbers. New survey, 7 in 10 Europeans believe that their country is accepting too many migrants. Look at that. Greece, 90% of citizens say yes. Cyprus, no, I mean, they're all over like 70%.
Look at those numbers. Look at those numbers. And I can tell you, because I'm from Spain, I have family in Spain, but I also have friends in Italy and Greece, England, all over. And the news never tells you what the majority are actually thinking. And this was like, oh, finally.
All of them saying way too many migrants.
And the few that are reporting no work for the government.
Right.
100%. 100%. Just like the ones that work for Pfizer. I'm saying it that way for the algorithm and the bots to leave me alone, so that you and I can just be our God-given right to talk to each other. And I love how everyone's like, oh, it's free. Nothing's free, guys. They're using you. So whether you're buying me a coffee, or becoming a member and supporting me and my channel, my work, to keep us together in contact, I can't say the word. I can't say the word because, again, the R word would get me, again, the bots and whatnot. But they're basically, they are sucking us dry, the life out of you. All right, you gotta laugh. You gotta laugh, people. And then this, I'm like, did you see any other footage like this of the whole Iranian president? Because, you know, I'm into astrology. I always look at the weather. Shout out to Robert Phoenix, who does excellent Astro Weather. If you guys haven't started following him or follow him, at least you need to watch his Astro Weather. Whether you understand astrology or not, he breaks it down where you can understand, okay, something might happen to you today, and this is why, and he's on, like 100%. Anyway, and he's got some really good insights and stories, really great stuff. And he's got a couple cats. They also do like what do they call it? What do you call it? A cameo sometimes. It's really cool, really cool. Anyway, I recommend it. It's good vibes, good energy, very insightful, useful information. And so when I'm looking at the stars and I'm looking at the planets and I'm looking at the chart of this country, of course, did anybody need to even look at astrology to figure out? It's going to be dubious. Nothing's going to get clear. We're not going to have real answers. Just based on my instinct alone. Let's just say big picture. The only thing constant is change, and it was a time for change for this country. But what caused the crash? What is there a who in that? We're just having fun for entertainment purposes. We're just having a conversation. Let's check out this video. Tell me guys if you've already seen this video, or if there's other footage out there that shows more, because this didn't show me
ominous
squat.
footage shows the final moments, just moments before the president of Iran did suffer a fatal helicopter crash. But there's way more to this story than what you're being told. A very, very, very strange coincidence that it just happened to be the one helicopter of the three that did end up crashing. The other two made it safely to destination. How exactly does that add up? Because it wasn't just the president of Iran that was on that helicopter. It was also the foreign minister. It was the governor of Eastern Azerbaijan. It was Tabriz's imam. It was the pilot, the co-pilot, crew chief, head of security, bodyguard, and now we're seeing the first vice president, Mohammed Mokhbar, next in line for succession. It does seem weird how oftentimes throughout history, people who vehemently oppose Israel and don't want them to continue to do some of the things they're doing often end up mysteriously losing their life. So why is that? Is Israel responsible for this? A lot of people are talking about direct energy weapons. And as you take a look at the crash site, you do see some very strange coincidences. Why are some pieces fully together, whereas other pieces are totally shattered? Why is it they were supposedly able to recover the bodies of some of the people in the crash, and it does seem like they're almost fully intact? How is that even possible considering the nature of the crash? It certainly doesn't look like just a typical crash. Now, we saw what happened with Kobe Bryant. I hate to bring that into this because it's a completely different story. However, it is both a helicopter crash, and in that case almost everything was fully disintegrated, yet in this case it seems to be a lot of things are still together. How could that possibly be the case? It doesn't seem to add up, unless of course a strange method for taking down this helicopter was used, or even so much as a radar jamming signal. That's all it would take to cause it to hit into a mountain. It would likely be at a much lower speed if it was in fact some sort of jamming weapon that was used, because then it would not require some sort of impact in order to cause the helicopter to go down at a high speed. So that right there is what I'm going to be investigating further. Clearly there's a lot more to the story than we're being told.
Yeah, of course, clearly there's a lot more to the story, but like that footage isn't showing me squat. Like what? And then hop on another. Check out this video. And again, the link to call in live to this show. You don't need to show your face. You don't have to turn your camera on. I'm not trying to look at you. Whatever you want. I'm open. I'm good. We're connected live on the Olga S Pérez show. But this video, I thought this video it's a little blurry. I don't know why, the quality, but it's a nice little reel clip here. Let's check it out.
Why is it that flat Earth is the single thing that triggers people the most?
People get so angry about it.
No question triggers people more.
Imagine being so programmed that you have strong emotions around a subject and you don't even know why.
Force has a very strong effect on the weak-minded. Why do you think that triggers people so much?
People go absolutely nuts.
Triggers the fuck out of people.
Why is it so important for them to just believe so badly? Why is it such a trigger point for these people who just can't imagine?
How do people get mad at people if they just describe the Earth the way the oldest history book describes it?
Yeah. So does this mean you think it's flat?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I just don't talk about it.
What do you think about flat Earth theory, Tucker? Well, I'm open to anything, but
hey, that's it! Cut this out! Because when it comes to things like the shape of the Earth, or the climate of the Earth, or the efficacy of the vaccine, or a number of things like this, because those things are settled. I'm not one of these globe tucks, okay? I don't trust it. I don't trust it for 1 second. And if I'm involved in a car accident or anything like that, don't believe a word they said. I'm not suicidal. I don't have any pre-existing heart conditions. It was NASA. I don't believe NASA for 1 minute. I don't believe any of that stuff. I am definitely a skeptic. Antarctica, I'm sorry, there's something up there.
the firmament is real.
Earth is flat. You're a globe-tard.
You're a globe-tard. You think this is flat. It's not.
Is the world round?
Yes, it's a globe.
Globe-tard.
So is space fake? Is there even space?
So fake.
So fake. It's just laughable.
I also have it on good authority that space is fake, so.
Really?
Really?
Whatever math that we have for the current size and shape of the Earth has been proven wrong. I mean, it's been proven wrong. You can't deny it. That's just a fact.
Everything that comes out of NASA is fake and gay. I mean, really, like that James Webb Telescope. Do you really believe any of those pictures are real? Do we need to see, like, how many videos of Neil deGrasse Tyson do we need to see with his mouth wide open, pointing, soy facing over these fake pictures to how many of those do you need to finally convince you that space is amazing?
NASA resumes they receive to work there, it's like, are you proficient in Photoshop?
It's all fake and gay. I mean, kind of like space.
Are you denying space?
A little bit. Sounds made up to me.
Sounds made up, yeah. Me too.
I've never seen a former flat earther. Nobody's ever seen what the actual shape of the Earth is and then been like, you know what? Neil deGrasse Tyson really does give me a good argument because it's literally ridiculous.
Once you go flat, you never go back. We've seen both. Like, we know your model better than you guys.
For starters, I don't believe space exists.
No satellites out there either, nigga.
It's like Santa Claus for adults. It doesn't take a rocket scientist.
It's just laughable.
You're gonna attach a camcorder to a Roomba, stick it in the desert, and tell me it's Mars.
Looking and using common sense.
It looks ridiculous and dumb.
That is tape, Tim. That's space tape, bud.
Do they think we're stupid?
It's so fake.
Just laughable.
Dangerous misinformation, like the Earth is flat and that humans have an immune system.
I like flat earthers. That means they think for themselves. And they're skeptical.
Everyone's, prove you're on a flat plane. Okay, there it is. It's right there. That's the flat, not moving plane. How about you prove you're on a spinning ball?
That's right.
And it all goes out the window and you realize it's all bullshit.
Flat Earth is real. Right? The world is not round.
The Earth is flat, right? Yeah.
People just want to believe. Most globe people have never thought about anything. They're literally like, I'm standing on a spinning ball right now. That's fucking insane. It's so fucking stupid.
What'd you guys think? I hope you enjoyed that little clip. Most importantly, how do you guys feel about it? Because see, I did the whole science route. We've talked about this, right? I've done the I'm still into quantum physics. Just understanding and to be able to decipher the world we live in, or the existence, the experience that we're living. And all roads led me right back to God, to the Bible. I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm not into religion. But once you know anything, which is ultimately, I will always say, I know nothing. But my instinct has never been wrong. Isn't that funny? It's like, again, just yesterday, because of that bird, the story I told earlier about the bird catching that fly, for some reason, and it was right before that, the trauma, right before that little, what do you even call that, emergency? What actually crossed my mind for some reason, out of the blue? What crossed my mind was that saying that, I don't know if it came from the silent generation or it was the boomer generation. And again, no offense, guys, whether you're a boomer or whatever. This is not the point. But me growing up, I heard, and even I've heard it, while I've been living in the U.S., but you've heard of that. Like, this person's got like a bird's brain. Oh, this bird brain, oh, you got such a bird brain. You know what I mean? When people call it, like, if you're stupid, your brain must be the size of a bird. The bird brain over here was telling me to, use a wrench instead of a screwdriver or something like that, right? And I go, that's so weird that they would come up with that statement. How ignorant is that, in my opinion? Unless I got something wrong, because English is my third language. But if I got something wrong, I'm going. With that thought, the next thought that came was how I just saw a TikTok of a mother, looks like a Gen Xer, was like, I gave my kid a car. I told them I'll only get them the car if they're going to make the payments, they're going to pay for the insurance, all this stuff. Anyway, the kid just drinking, partying, no paying for the car. It's in her name. She takes the car away. She's like, tell me, guys, tell me, other parents out there, did I do something wrong? Or like, am I doing something wrong? Because if anything happens to that car, to her, whatever, it comes to me. So ultimately, it's not even about the money, not about being supported, like the whole nine, right? You guys get this. Like, it's nothing new, right? But the whole thing with the bird brain, I go, isn't that funny that people used to call it the more stupid idiots, so-called, right? Bird brain. When I'm going, a bird can make a nest. A bird can fucking feed itself. A bird. I go on and on and on. You see what I mean? That's a reality check. A reality check. And the humility. You see what I'm saying? So, because birds, animals are probably most likely smarter than all of us. Anyway, I do love my fellow human beings. I love myself. How can I not love you? Who's with me? Hey, Melissa, I see you. Rocco as well. Sean, guys, just let you know, your device is not connecting to the mic. I don't know. Like I said, if you're on the computer, on the phone, check that you allow the mic. Okay. It really shouldn't be so. I don't know what's happening with you guys because it shouldn't. There you go. Sean, it's been a hot minute.
How we doing?
Good. How you doing?
Well, hanging in there, busting my hump lately, helping out the neighbors.
Hey, that's how I roll. I love that. That's
awesome. I rolled my prices back to 1980s for landscaping, and I charged these folks $15 to do their entire property. I've now got 11 customers, and I want to do it for free, but none of them will allow me to do it for free.
Oh my God, Sean, you're going to make me cry. Oh my God.
So I am a caregiver for my uncle here, and I'm bound to this area because I cannot move out and do any other kind of labor. So I chose not to take advantage of my neighbors, but to bring all of these. Half of the side of the street are Democrats, the other half are Trump supporters, and now they are all enjoying how nice their yards look, and they're all coming out and picnicking and having all kinds of fun. And I don't know if it was because of the yard work, but I'm going to take credit. Thank you.
Yay, Sean! Absolutely. Bless you. Melissa's also joined. Melissa, welcome to the stage. Thanks for calling in. Sean, you're still here.
Love you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Going back to, I got to go back to the back.
Let's go.
It's when you did the stop for that boy.
Oh.
I don't know if you saw my message.
No, I'm sorry.
It was your voice. When you saw something, no, seriously, I've done this a couple times. This happened to me. I was on New Jersey shore. I'm in Ohio now, but we're on New Jersey, shore. And you know how those restaurants are way up and then you got the shore down below?
Yes.
Like where you walk down those steps. I kept glancing at this, something drawing me to this little boy. Like he was maybe 13, 14 months. I was like, man, what's your parents doing? They ain't watching them. And I'm looking in the corner of my eye. He went through, like I don't know. It's like the little slats. I saw him go through, and all of a sudden, I was down at the bottom of those steps. My boyfriend at the time had no clue where the hell I went. I was down there so fast, I caught him at the bottom of those steps. And the parents were screaming, and they were like, "Ah!" I'm like, he's fine, he's down here. And so they came down, and then they got him. I mean, I've seen this shit happening. So what I'm telling you, what you saw, what you did, it was like you were doing Matrix moves. You know, like you were connected enough to recognize and be concerned enough. Something told you.
You're right.
This is what you got to do.
Yes. Because I
And he
don't
did
recall
it.
how I was holding on to my bag and my back. Like, everything was just.
I know. You were boom.
Oh my
And you
God.
were
And I
like,
didn't think I could
"No!"
run fast enough. You know what I'm saying? I was like, but you're right. It did kind of feel like the Matrix in a sense where I thought I must have flown. There's no way
I know. That's what I'm saying. When you said that, I was like, oh, I'm getting chills too, girlfriend. I'm getting chills right now. And another time was we had this vehicle. It was like one of those old cars. I told the dude, I go, hey, the brakes don't work. He's like, oh, I got this. He came off the ramp and other vehicles were pulling in and he was going off the ramp. And I just yelled out, stop! That car stopped. And it was like, boom. It was so fucking weird. I don't even know how to explain this shit. And they're like, oh my God. Oh my God. And we don't know how it stopped. Like when it just came from deep within you. Yeah. And that's what people need to recognize. Now going to the flat earth stuff, listen.
Let's do it. Sean, are you still there, sweetheart?
This ain't making sense. The flat, the round didn't ever make sense when I was little. And then now I'm almost 47 and I was like, whoa, what's going on? Like, no, nothing's adding up. So I got to question shit now. That's what we're doing. We're questioning.
Yeah.
But thank you. Thank you for let me rant and be on the show.
No. I think, Sean, what do you think about the flat earth?
The flat earth, cannot buy that.
Oh, really? You're the globe guy.
I sure am.
Ooh, isn't
there
that
are
interesting?
No straight lines in the universe according to Terrence Howard. Have you seen any of his new stuff that just came out on Joe Rogan?
Which? Wait. Who? Not the one with Terrence, right?
Terrence Howard is an actor, played in the movie Crash and et cetera, et cetera. It actually turns out to be a physicist.
Yes.
An amazing
I've seen some
physicist.
speeches. Some of his speeches in Harvard and whatnot. Yeah. Or like Oxford. I got it. Okay.
Well, he kind of puts that all together pretty darn good, to where it makes a lot of sense.
He's a global earther? I got to look that up for myself.
He's more than that. He talks about how we are connected, all of us, from the beginning. He talks, it's 3.5 hours, I think, on Joe Rogan, but it's riveting the entire time.
I didn't watch it. I did not. I saw some clips, but I wanted to watch it, and I actually put it on my watch later list, but it's so long, I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I had to take it in hour bites in between,
Makes sense. I mean, we got to work, like we got a living.
But it was actually for me just completely, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. It was just, it answered a lot of questions and it just like made so much sense. It just, there's times when you hear something and you're like, you question it. You're like, well, that doesn't kind of fit.
Right.
The way you put it, it just laid out like it had always been there.
Oh, I got to hear from myself. Sean, there's going to be a part 2 to this because I can't imagine what he could say to make me believe what I feel. But, as people say, oh, your feelings aren't truth. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I just had an instant. I was talking to a friend day before yesterday, or literally yesterday. The day before we were talking, and she was applying for this position as a teacher in another school. She's in a school. She wants this other school that fits her better. And when she was applying for it, the application online was like, oh, are you certified? And she's like, well, I just got certified, but I didn't get the letter. Or no, she goes, maybe I didn't get certified. Like, maybe I didn't pass. I'm like, dude, you got it. You got it. Just click yes. by the time they interview, whatever, just. And she's like, well, even if I get the results and even if I am, it's going to take at least 6 to 10 weeks. I'm like, I'm telling you, you are doing it. And she knows me for a long time. So she was like, okay, whatever. She got out of her way to text me and call me yesterday with a bunch of happy emojis saying, I cannot believe we just had this conversation yesterday. I'm like, this is the story of my life, right? So sometimes I just
get into existence.
Yeah. Like I can't even, I'm not a scientist. I don't proclaim to be one, right? And I'm not Terrence, right? I'm not an actor who's a physicist or any of that. But it's going to, I mean, he's going to have to say it in a way where, here's how it would, I'm going to listen, Sean, because I want to, and because now that you mentioned the whole flat earth part, you got me going like I want to listen to it sooner than later. That's number one. Number two, unless that dude can walk on water, you see what I'm saying? Like if he's so smart, walk on water, and then I'll believe the earth is round. Kind of like that.
Basically, he is postulating that our entire mathematical and scientific systems are based upon averages, not reality.
Okay.
We had to try to turn curved things into straight lines to calculate them. And because we did that, we lost some of the calculation in the curves. So he basically says there are no straight lines in the universe. And for us to try to establish a math system, we put everything into geometric straight lines.
Yeah. Well, what about like what's it called? The torus? I could see it in my head. What's that thing
Torus
called?
field, Fibonacci.
Yeah. Like to me, that would make sense. I can see where he's saying that our flat earth isn't exactly how we perceive it and see it. I can buy that. But that we're a spinning ball going 666 million miles an hour? No fucking way.
No.
Well, he talks about all kinds of crazy stuff like all of the planets come from the sun. Every sun bursts all of the planets. And as the planets are spinning away from the sun, they move further and further away from the sun. So at one point in time, he mentioned that Mars was in the Goldilocks zone where we are right now and was a civilized population. And
how
as
can
they
you prove
move,
it? I'm sorry to interrupt you, Sean.
it's somehow calculations as far as knowing how far away the Earth is moving away from the sun at a regular rate, and then just does the calculations backwards. And one day Uranus will be here in the Goldilocks zone, and the Earth will be where Mars is. But this is billions and billions of years.
Yeah. I said, you know how it's like if you haven't read the book, I got to watch it, right? I got to listen to the podcast.
I get it.
This is to be continued. But wait, I just lost my thought about the flat earth. Okay. But my question is, why is everybody so triggered with the conversation? Like you and I right now, Melissa, you and me, like we're not having a problem. Like, okay, you think what you think. Melissa didn't get triggered. I didn't get triggered. I thought, I even laughed at hey, we have different points of views. That doesn't change our coexistence together, right? Like,
I believe it is because we do not have any preconceived notions of being correct or wrong or right or wrong. You know what I mean? We believe in what sounds the most reasonable, and we're willing to, be flexible, I think.
Yeah. But
so this is what I go on is, when we were little, we believed in Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, all this stuff. We hit a certain age and a certain age of knowing and understanding, and then we get told, either we find out or we get told, by our parents, like, hey, you're old enough, or your friends at school told you, like, there's no Santa Claus. That's kind of how I feel like this whole existence is. We've been told since we were little, when we went to, kindergarten, or if you were in, pre-K, that's the first thing they show you. And when my teacher said she was spinning that damn globe around so fast, she's like, this is how fast we're spinning. And I'm like, this don't make sense, because be still and know thyself, be still, close my eyes, I'm not feeling I'm being spun around that fast, and that shit did not make sense to me. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
But I still went along with the program.
Right.
For
But
how
that's a
many?
great excuse me, I'm sorry. That's a great example. I mean, the story that you were told, let's say, for example, you talked about Santa Claus. What if, I mean, like, for example, what blew me away with this Terrence Howard thing was he said that, what is 1 times 1?
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you-
I've heard him say that in many different clips. Yeah, that has been running around. Like one, like, right, exactly. Right.
You know,
Doesn't exist. It's not a-
anyway, I mean, I'm not going to go into breaking down the math thing because I'm not a mathematician, but I mean, it just totally made sense. It's like, okay, you have, you know, 1 apple here and 1 apple here. If I try to multiply these 2 apples, how many apples do I have? 0? That don't make sense. You know, so our whole entire world is based upon this average, this minimal understanding of how things work. And you know, we've done pretty darn good, but it's also been able to be manipulated and you know, controlled.
Melissa, your mic's not connected. In case you don't know, I can't add you until the mic or your device is connected with the mic. Sorry about that. Oh shoot. Okay, guys, you know what? I think it's not you guys, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the weather, what's going on, but it just kicked you guys off. I didn't kick you off. I didn't touch nothing. But I'll tell you what, I got to get going anyway. So this is to be continued. We're going to have a part 2. Sean, I hope to see you. I mean, stay tuned. We're doing a part 2. I'm going to watch that podcast. Melissa, thank you. Sean, thank you for calling in. Everyone, thank you for calling in. Rocco, even if the mic didn't work, for next time. Much love, guys. I will talk to you soon. I don't know when, but, hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. You're back, Sean.
I'm sorry.
Now, I was liking the monkey, though. It was cute to see. It almost looked like it was talking. Melissa.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey.
I didn't touch
No,
anything.
I know you didn't kick us off. I know you didn't do nothing.
So I was like, all right.
That's how the cookie crumbles around here.
That's right. That's right.
I hit the button on accident.
Oh, no, that was fine. I was fine with the camera, Sean. I'm just letting you know that it was funny. I was like looking at this monkey like, okay, this is
Well, I tell you, the
it's
monkey.
a gorilla, right?
No, that's a chimpanzee.
Chimpanzee. That was going to be my next one.
And he's better looking than I am, so
Oh,
that's
that's
why.
not true, Sean. I've seen you before.
Whatever.
Right, Melissa? Hello.
I know, right? Like, come on.
No. Well, I'll tell you what. No, seriously, this is exactly like. Let's just wrap it up with this because I got Melissa, have you seen the Joe Rogan? Terrence?
I've seen a lot of it, and I also seen Terrence's other, videos and stuff. And I know about frequencies, sound, vibration. If you look up like slow motion of the guitar strings being picked in slow mo, you'll see how they oscillate.
Right.
But we're hearing a straight linear sound. But when you go in and you look at your eardrum, how your eardrum is set up to bring in those sounds, you have that Fibonacci spiral in your ear. It takes it in. It's the same thing for your eyeballs. Your eyeballs have the fisheye lens already. So we're all equipped with fisheye lens, unless you have, the astigmatism and you have flat spots, so you can see a little different. So just look into that stuff. It's really cool. Our bodies are amazing, how we got put together, and every organ vibrates at a certain frequency, and how it goes together is like a symphony. It's an orchestra. And if one thing's off tune, the rest of the orchestra sounds like crap. So that's our bodies. And that's, what I got from what he was talking and what I've been knowing for many years.
Yeah.
Is once one organ's off, it actually puts off the rest of the organs, and you got to get it back into tune. So
I agree. That's a fact. Rocco, you got the mic to work.
Hey, now you guys get to hear my squeaky voice.
I thought you were exaggerating when you said that to me. You said that to me on a locals chat. Remember that? I was like, he's just probably exaggerating. But Rocco,
Now that you've heard my squeaky voice, you get to hear my real voice.
okay, now I don't believe you. Now I believe you're using AI.
As you remember, when I said that in locals, I was laughing my ass off. That's one of my favorite jokes, is that squeaky voice one.
So you don't have a squeaky voice.
No, this is my real voice.
Who believes him? Who believes him?
I do.
Really?
I believe him.
I'm thinking AI.
No, I wouldn't use AI. I'm too smart for that.
Well, I'm so glad you could make it. What happened? You couldn't see that, or like, was your phone blocking the notification? The mic thing, or?
I'm a technological moron, Miss Olga, and somehow it blocked it when I tried to connect. It blocked it, and it told me I had to open it on the app on the browser, and it took me forever to figure out how to do that. I think I finally figured it out because I'm talking to you now.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. So for future, because I mean, I guess I just need more subscribers and whatnot to have more of a live audience, so that, I don't want to pressure anybody like, oh, okay, we're going to call Olga because nobody's calling her. You know what I mean? But I just want to be able to talk more often. Like, I don't want to do all the talking. I want this more than the other. You know what I mean? Besides the music video reactions. Go ahead.
I have absolutely no problem with this. I prefer this than pecking.
What, you prefer what?
I prefer talking than pecking. Trying to use my thumbs and
yeah.
peck.
So Sean,
especially for a slow pecker.
I'm a slow pecker.
Or a little
pecker. Not only am I a slow pecker, I'm a small pecker too.
Yeah. Wouldn't you like to be a pecker too?
What'd you say, Sean?
No, I just said, wouldn't you like to be a pecker too?
My next live.
See, this is what I enjoy. This is what I live for. Well, but no, for real, I gotta go. But thank you so much, Rocco, for joining. Sean, I hope to see you more often. I'm gonna hope to make a clip. I want more people to hear that, what you're doing for the neighborhood. Like, this is, oh
yeah, that's awesome,
right? And
I'm hoping about.
One of my best friends is a landscaper, and he hasn't changed his prices in like years. And he's like, everyone's like, even before the whole COVID. Anyway, we'll get into it. Sean, stick around, please. Or hopefully you're not. Well, no. Even if you don't join the live, let me know you've stopped by. Leave a comment once in a while.
10-4. I'll never leave you behind.
Thank you so much, Melissa. So great to have you. Thank you for calling in, Rocco. All the love. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen.
Peace be with you, my brothers and sisters.
All right.
Now, how do I get out of here?
That was another. That's another thing I did. I was trying to do my, much love, many blessings, and I scrolled on this mouse. Modern technology. Much love, everyone. Thank you so much. You made my day. Hope this made your day as well, or at least put a smile on your face. And if that's the case, then smash that like button. Much love, many blessings. Talk to you soon.